All right, so here's the deal, folks. I'm in Vander, and I'm heading in to do Good Morning Fayetteville. The Greek and I were going to drive in. I got a report from my son, Gilbert Jr., who said his trip into the law enforcement center was all rain and the roads were clear. And so I'm going to document my ride from Blakefield housing area in Vander into Fayetteville. Now, I could go down Clinton Road and make my way down Clinton Road all the way in. But my thought is I probably want to go up to near the food line in Circle K, past Cape Fear High School, and get on Highway 24. Many of you know that Highway 24 is the road where the sand and salt barn are located. And Highway 24 should be clear going into Fayetteville. Now, there is ice out here. There are power outages, but as you can see in our community here, the lights are on. And so we did not experience any power outage here. But there were as many 31,000 without power in central North Carolina as of yesterday afternoon. And we're told that number is down to about 18,000 in Fayetteville. So I'm just circling through the community here. It's all rain, and that's good news. Just trying to get a sense of what this is like for us here. Gonna make one more pass past my house and head on out. As you can see, plenty of lights. This is all rain right now in this part of Cumberland County. The problem is if you have to head up towards the Raleigh area, you're going to run into worse conditions than this. So if you have to leave to go up that way, you want to make sure that you take your time, because the farther north you get, the more you're going to have an issue. Temperature right now is about 32 degrees, which is, of course, freezing. But the rain that's falling, I think, is coming from a warmer air mass above, and so we don't have the ice right here right now. But things are going to get worse as today progresses, because there is an expectation of an awful lot of cold temperatures moving in the area for tonight, tomorrow, I think for the next several days. Now, if you do have to get out, you might want to get out and start your car up, because I do see some ice accumulation on vehicles. Warm your car up a little bit, chip the ice away, and do what you got to do. All right, so I'm going to leave the neighborhood here. I just did one big circle. I'm only driving 22 miles an hour. It will look like I'm driving faster than I actually am. That's one thing we always did on television, is we alerted the folks to what the speed, how fast we were traveling, because on a screen it looks like we're traveling faster than it is. A lot of times when I'm doing this, and I've been doing this for almost 35 years, driving in when there's bad weather, you get a sense of what the road is like, where there's no one here right now, no one in front of me, no one behind me, and I kind of slam on the brakes just to get a sense of what the road condition is like underneath my tires. The problem with that is, that's fine here, but you go on an overpass and you will notice that the ground conditions are different, and that's why you will have the potential of sliding out. So again, 22 miles an hour is what I'm traveling right now. This is Old Vander Road. I'm heading up to Clinton Road in Cumberland County. And I'm going to rather be safe than sorry, because it's just 4:55. We don't go on the air till 6, and I just want to make sure that I get there safely. So instead of making the left up here and traveling on Clinton Road all the way back into Fayetteville, I'm going to make the right up here. I'm getting ready to come to the stop sign. I'm going to start to feel what it's like. It feels like it's all wet underneath my tires, so I should be able to stop without sliding into the intersection here. And I will go ahead and make the right and go up to Cape Fear High School, past that, and get on Highway 24 and take that into Fayetteville, as opposed to trying to take my chances with running to a slick spot on Clinton Road. A little bit more time to make the trip, but I think it'll be a safer journey. I think that's the type of thinking that you need to have as you make your way around. If you can get on the major thoroughfares, you're going to have probably less of an issue. Again, my son Gilbert Jr. called. He lived off of Country Club Drive, and he was able to make it in to the downtown area where he works on all rain, is what he said this morning. So I can feel the slush or rain underneath the tires right now. Again, I'm going 30 miles an hour. Looks like I'm probably going faster than that, just going 30 miles an hour. This is past Cape Fear High School. And my thought is to get on Highway 24 and take that into Fayetteville and make it to Cedar Creek Road area. Actually, I can just stay on Highway 24, which turns into Grove Street, which will take me up Bragg Boulevard. Those are all major thoroughfares, and I'm pretty sure the state DOT has done the best it can with the conditions down here. Again, just going 30 miles an hour to make my way up to Cape Fear High School. Now, based on what I feel and what I see, I probably can go a little faster. The problem is going to be on bridges, and you know, sometimes you don't realize that you're going over a bridge because it just looks like part of the road, when in fact you're going across a creek or something like that. The problem with the bridges is the fact that there's air, not only on the top, cold air, but cold air under the bottom as well. So those surfaces have a tendency to hold ice more than the roadway, you know, the macadam or whatever you want to call it. Lou Cherry used to always laugh at me when I did a live report and say, hey, the macadam is warming up. And she said, nobody knows what a macadam is. Okay. The road. All right, for those of you familiar with this area, this is the stoplight here near the Circle K. Oh, now there's a lot of water that accumulated, which is actually a good sign. Now, this is the Circle K here, Maxwell Road, and all that stuff is straight up. And unfortunately, I just can't make the left-hand turn here. I'm going to have to go up to the U-turn location and then come back down on Highway 24. And so that's what I'm planning to do here. I can hear the way the windshield wipers are going across the windshield, that that's like a dry, slushy sound here. All right. So this will be the U-turn on Highway 24. Highway 24 looks pretty good. And for those who are familiar with this area, this takes you down to the salt barn, sand barn, where they mix the brine, Department of Transportation and Cumberland County, so that they can, let me get in this lane here, so they can put it out on the road in a good portion of Cumberland County area. All right, I got a green, don't see anything coming. And this will be a straight dive for me. For those of you familiar with this area, this is Highway 24, and this will turn into Grove Street, and then eventually get me over the bridge, over the railroad tracks downtown Fayetteville, and on to Bragg Boulevard, which will be a straight shot to the station. So right now, I'm going to lock the cruise control in at about 45 because I feel like I'm just on all water right now down here. The outside temperature is 32. We know that's freezing. I'm going to lock it at 40. Now, the reason I like to use cruise control is the fact that the speed stays pretty steady. And everybody will tell you that a change in speed or a change in steering are two of the factors that will cause you to lose control of your vehicle. What I like about cruise control is if I go uphill or downhill, it maintains the speed without me having to do too much to maintain the speed. So I'm actually going 39 miles an hour. This again, Highway 24, if you're just joining us on my podcast. We got a good lineup of folks that are going to be on Good Morning Fayetteville. That starts at 6 o'clock, about an hour from now. And we've got folks from PWC. We've got Gary Crumpler, who's involved with emergency management for Cumberland County. Laura Smith, who's involved with the city's emergency management. She's on standby. We'll also talk with Kirk Deviere, the chairman of the Cumberland County Commissioners, and Mayor Mitch Colvin. We'll get the latest on what's going on in terms of the city's preparation for this storm and how we've made out so far. Again, 31, I think it's 31, I want to say 1,000 people were without power in North Carolina. That number now 18,000 as of about 3:30 this morning. And again, this looks like an all-rain event for us right now. But again, the temperature's hovering right at freezing. So there are probably some slick spots out here. Again, if you're just joining us, this is Highway 24 in Cumberland County. We'll get into the Fayetteville city limits up here, right near Cedar Creek Road. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Gilbert Baez, and I'm driving in to work this morning to do Good Morning Fayetteville. The Greek and I were going to drive in together this morning. You know, he's on Rock 103, and he's the program director for WFNC as well. We both live in the Blakefield community, and I said, hey, when we thought it was going to be really bad, and we thought it was a good idea for us to kind of commute together, less vehicles on the road, and you know, we're both going to the same place. But I went over to his house this morning, and after getting a report from my son that it was all rain, noticing my driveway was all rain, the roads in front of my house all rain, we talked and decided we were both going to just drive in individually. And that's going to be the best thing for us to do this morning. All right, as you can see, this is the turnoff if you're going to get onto Interstate 95, head to Benson or to Lumberton. That's where we are, just to give you an idea of where we are. Again, I'm driving 40 miles an hour. There's a vehicle coming up behind me now that I can see in my rear view mirror. It looks like an 18-wheeler or a big truck. That truck is deciding to pass me, which is fine by me. So you can see it's kicking up a lot of water. And give him a nice little signal to come on over. He's clear. All right. So the bottom line, it looks like if you're driving around the Cumberland County area, and hopefully you're only driving because you've got some important business to take care of. All right, oh, now here you go. Now this is a bridge right here, and there is, that looked like kind of icy. Now that was a bridge that went over 95. and that looked kind of icy. So that's the point. Now, if all of a sudden I would have slammed on my brakes or something like that, we could have possibly had a spin out. And again, that's the issue as you head up to through this area. I'm looking at the left. I see what looks like a DOT. Yeah, that was a DOT truck on 24 putting down either salt or sand. I'm not sure. So North Carolina Department of Transportation on stick, making it happen. Again, this is one reason I decided to ride on Highway 24. This is a major thoroughfare in North Carolina. It also cuts through Fayetteville, turns into Grove Street, and also into Bragg Boulevard, and leads up to Fort Bragg. So this road should be pretty well taken care of. Again, the temperature is 32. It looks like it's an all-rain event in terms of what's falling on my windshield here. And seems to be in pretty good shape. Now, here's the thing, folks. This is fine. I was able to get out of my community, the Blakefield community, Blakefield, without any issues. But it looks like the farther north you go, the closer you head up towards the triangle, the more concerned there's going to be about ice on the ground as opposed to rain. There have been plenty of accidents, especially up towards the triangle area. My concern isn't necessarily a traffic accident. Folks want to make sure if you feel you got to go outside to your mailbox or whatever it might be, that you take precautions not to slip and fall. There will be a number of people who will end up in the hospital because slipping and falling right around your house, going out to your car to scrape off the ice, falling down, hitting your head on the ground. So use a lot of caution as you head out. My backyard was a combination of slush and ice, and so you may find that around some of the areas in your neighborhood. All right, we're coming up on one of the last lights here before we get onto Grove Street and go across. I think this is the George Brees, or one of the Brees Bridge. I'm not sure which Brees brother it is. I'm sure if George Brees is listening to me, he'll send me a note and say that's so-and-so Brees. All right, we're now in Fayetteville city limits. And it seems to be, for the most part, a rain event. Although I'm starting to hear stuff hit on the window that seems a little more icy. You know, one of my biggest concerns in coming into work is the big bridge that goes over top of the railroad tracks as Grove Street turns into Bragg Boulevard, right there at Festival Park. All right, so this is Cedar Creek Road. We're going through Cedar Creek Road right now. And here's the official Welcome to Fayetteville sign. And we're coming to up through Dunn Road right now. All right, so we're going to get ready to go over the bridge. And I want to make sure I've got a steady pace. I've locked the cruise control at 30 miles an hour. And all right, so here's the bridge. And this is the thing that all of a sudden you can hit this, and now this looks a little icy. So if you're going at a pretty fast pace, there's the potential for you to have some issues. Now, and I'm looking at there's an awful lot of ice accumulation on the trees. Now, the question, we didn't lose power last night all the way, but we had 2 bumps out in Blakefield where all the TVs cut off in the house. You have one of those little power surges, like boom, boom, everything shuts off. And my wife Dora said, uh-oh. And I said, uh-oh, but everything came back on. And, all right, so here's a traffic light up here. This is a Northeastern Boulevard. And I think those of you are familiar with this area got a sense of where we are. Uneventful so far for me making it in. And I probably could have come down Clinton Road all the way, but safe than sorry. It's 5:11 right now. Temperature's 32 in Fayetteville. Here's a guy going past me 100 miles an hour. Well, no, he's not. I'm just going 25. But folks, do what you think you need to do in order to be safe. For me, I normally leave to go to the station at about 5:30 or so. Maybe it's a 20-minute ride to the station. And, we're normally in pretty good stead. But I'm just decided to take it easy because, it is what it is where I was, but what is it where I'm going to be? Damn, I need to write that down. It is what it is where I was, but what is it going to be where I'm going? All right, we're getting ready to go over a bridge just across creek. And again, the potential for icing on the bridges in the area because of here you go right here, the cold temperatures that are not only above the bridge surface but below it as well. All right, so I made it across that bridge okay. And we're coming up on Ramsey Street to the right, Green Street to the left. That'll take you down to the post office. This is Ann Street that we're going through first, though. But up the red light is Ramsey Street. When they were building that bridge that goes over the railroad tracks up here, I remember doing reports on it while it was still under construction. And one of my biggest concerns was, what are we going to do when you have an ice storm? And I don't see anybody on it right now. Out here, we got somebody coming down that bridge right now. So I'll take my time going up it. If push came to shove, I would make a left here on Ray Avenue and take that and get on Hay Street and then just come up around that way and bypass this bridge. But it looks like these folks were able to navigate it going up, and I'm getting ready to do the same thing. I'm right near Festival Park in downtown Fayetteville. Coming up over the bridge, it looks like all water draping, but I'm still on the dirt portion. So here, right here, is the bridge portion. Be cautious going over that. All right, now here's some mounds of dirt still, and there's where the train comes over and goes underneath it. Right there, so. And looks a little slushy. And that could be because the Department of Transportation has put down either salt or sand or mixture on that bridge surface. So I was able to navigate probably what I thought was going to be one of the most difficult parts of this commute for me. And I'm going to put the cruise control on 35. The speed limit up here is 45. And again, it always looks like we're going faster in news vehicles than we are. I'm not in a news vehicle, but it was my private vehicle. But here's another bridge that we're going over here, over MLK. And we navigated that okay. But my hat's off to the photographers who work with the reporters on television, and all the folks with whom I've worked over the years. Michael Joyner, who's still at it at WRAL. Lou Cherry, who now works for the county as a photographer, but we worked together for many years at WTVD. Ed Wilson, who was the chief photographer at WRAL, who used to be a Fayetteville photographer when he started with WRAL years ago. Mike White from Robeson County, fantastic photographer and very competitive guy. Darvin Jones, God rest his soul. What a fantastic photographer he was. He worked very closely with Greg Barnes over the years. And his wife, Omega Jones, and I worked together on the radio. As a matter of fact, I gave Omega, I think, her first radio job, a commercial radio, years and years and years ago. And she's still on radio here and there. She pops up. I'm not sure where Omega is right now. But, and she worked for the hospital for a good portion as well. If you look on the grassy surfaces, you see that there is a mixture of ice and water. These road surfaces have been treated, and they will have a tendency to warm up very nicely when the sun comes out, even if the temperature's around freezing. Once the sun that we're expected to get later today comes out, that should be a good thing for us, at least down here. I'm going to have Greg Fishel on Good Morning Fayetteville. And for those of you who don't know Greg, and he must, as I said, must have been living under a rock, but Greg is former meteorologist, longtime meteorologist, more than 30 years at WRAL. He moved to Myrtle Beach and has been living there for several years, and he has since moved back to Wake County, to Fuquay-Varina area, and he has a weather service that he uses to put out weathercasts all the time, every day. So we're good friends. We played golf together, and I called him on Friday, and he gave us his synopsis of what the storm was going to do over the weekend. He was spot on in terms of what we could expect down here, and so we will talk with him this morning on Good Morning Fayetteville and get a sense of what we can expect to happen now. I want to specifically talk to him about the evaporation process, because that's what we need right now. We need the moisture that's on the ground to evaporate, and some sunshine will help that go a long way. The most important part of that is it will hopefully help us in the neighborhoods, because that's the last part of the priority in terms of the Department of Transportation. Major thoroughfares, secondary roads, and then communities are last. So again, the hardest part of navigating your commute this morning will probably be just getting out of your neighborhood, depending on where you are. This is Stamper Road here, Utah Shopping Center. It's 5:18, temperature is 32 degrees here in Fayetteville. This is that new 7-Eleven off to the left here on Bragg Boulevard. 7-Eleven's popping up all over the place. But I tell you what, they look good. I haven't gone to one yet, but they look good. I don't know about you, but I always get my gas from the same spot. I don't know, that must be just my obsessive compulsive thing. I always go to the same spot. And the folks at the Circle K I go to are like family. We all laugh and joke when I walk in, because they know what I want. They already have it ready for me. All right, so this is Elm Street that we're going through right now. There's nothing behind me. Negotiate my way over into the right-hand lane, because I'm going to eventually make a right-hand turn up here. A lot of times people wait till the last minute to try to get over. Most accidents happen in intersections and when people change lanes. I was talking with Kenny Hitman McLean about driving. Even Doris, I said, I always tell them, always take the open lane, because you will be able to start as fast or as slow as you want, and you're not worried about the person in front of you. That's where the road rage gets in. Road rage is real simple. Your inability to make someone else drive their vehicle the way you want them to. That's what it is in a nutshell. I never get upset. People cut me off. I don't care. I don't blow. You got a choice, folks. You got a steering wheel, you got a horn, you got a brake and an accelerator. What are you going to choose? You're going to choose Dunkin' Donuts? This is Krispy Kreme. I didn't see the hot as now sign on. I'm not stopping. Actually, I shouldn't be eating donuts anyway. A lot of people come to the station, bring us donuts. We appreciate it. So now this is Shannon Road. This is the road I would normally take to get down to WFNC, but it's blocked off, and it's been blocked off for some time. And when we have guests come to the station, I always gotta let them know you need to come up to Sycamore Dairy, this McDonald's up here, Starbucks, and Dunkin' Donuts, and you make the right-hand turn. So now I'm getting off a road that's been very well treated. This is Carroll Street that will take you down to here's Northern Tool, obvious, and also the American Red Cross is down here. And so it doesn't look too bad. I guess this was going to be one of my major concerns, turning off Bragg Boulevard into the neighborhood here, and seeing what the road conditions were like. But again, the more it rains, the more it washes away stuff, but the more water that has to evaporate once the temperature returns to freezing. Temperature right now, according to my vehicle, is 33 degrees, which is above freezing. It's fantastic. It's great. Stop sign. I'm not having an issue here. And this is where you run into problems. You can't stop because you slide through the stop sign, and all of a sudden you end up in the intersection. Now, there are those of you who said, you just made a rolling stop, Mr. Baez. I have the right to remain silent, but I guess the video is going to tell on me. Let me come to a nice complete stop here, in case Fayetteville police are watching. There's probably some statute limitation on them charging me. I have come to a complete stop right here in Shannon. So this is the way around the detour here. And this is Drayton Road that leads to WFNC. Of course, Cumulus Broadcasting. We're back here. Now, I don't think the DOT is going to come back here and do anything for us. But there's plenty of lights. Looks like a lot of rain. And so we're heading into Cumulus Broadcasting here. It's 5:22. And my biggest concern right now will be leaving the car and making my way into the building and negotiating any ice that might be in the parking lot. And again, it was smooth sailing all the way in. Here's, home of Magic 106.9, Q98, WFNC, and Rock 103. And so here we are at home. And that's perfect. Uneventful trip here to the radio station. And I'm going to go inside. We'll get the podcast together and get that on the air for you coming up at 6 o'clock. Folks, if you have to head outside today, get on major thoroughfares. NCDOT has done pretty good down here. Very good, as a matter of fact, in Cumberland County. But as you head north, you will see from the TV stations and the coverage up there, tremendous amount of accidents, very icy roads, but we seem to be okay down here in Fayetteville and Cumberland County. Stay safe.